You're listening to
The Marne Report.
Welcome to the Marne Report. I'm Sergeant First Class Jason Hull with 3rd Division Sustainment Brigade Public Affairs. It is April, and that means it is SAPM. That's the Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. Here with me today is Staff Sergeant Ingrid Brown. She's the victim advocate for the Sustainment Brigade, one of the most energetic, knowledgeable, and fun NCOs in the SHARP program that I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And we're going to talk a little bit today about some of the SAPM events that are going around Fort Stewart. I know that we're about halfway through the month, but really the best events are yet to come, and she's going to give us a little bit about that. And we're going to talk just a little bit about the SHARP program. And I don't know if this podcast will count as your annual training requirement, but perhaps if you attend one of Sergeant Brown's events, coupled with this podcast, maybe, I don't know, maybe that'll count. Thanks for doing this with us, Sergeant Brown.
So good morning, everyone. This is Staff Sergeant Brown. Like I said, I'm the victim advocate, the full-time victim advocate for 3rd DSB. Like I said, I love my job. I've been doing it for 2 years. I will continue to plan to do it once I get out and become a GS9, of course, civilian victim advocate. But yes, like he said, that we're going to talk about SAPM because it's all about bringing the awareness to the formation, the organization across division, and heck, everywhere if we can. SHARP is very important. I'm always out here telling people no means no, get consent. It's okay to have relationships, but it's also not okay to take something from someone, especially if no is on the table.
Well, so just to clarify, SAPM is it's not just an Army event.
Mm-mm. It's more of so with SAPM, it's across just all of DOD. So it's not just Army, it's across everywhere, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. Like, it's a big thing. Like, it's all about bringing awareness for sexual assault. And we're not downplaying sexual harassment at all, not at all. But it is just trying to bring that awareness to get people to understand that, like, you need to get that verbal consent.
Well, in SAPM, I think it's a nationwide thing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. The teal colored ribbon for awareness. It's like a nationwide thing. So it really, SAPM, it exists to bring awareness to the entirety of society too, for a problem that affects all of society. Yeah, and like I said, it is only for the month of April, but it's all about every month. It shouldn't just be about just April, but April is like what you said, is like a national thing. Like, it's something that they celebrate the entire month of April, right? But I'm all about it every day. All 12 months. Typically, you're out there working to host and conduct these events that bring awareness, sexual harassment, sexual assault daily. I've seen you out and about daily doing these things. But let's focus specifically on the month of April and the couple of weeks that we have left here. Would you just give me a rundown of some of the division and Fort Stewart events that soldiers could still attend and be a part of over the next couple of weeks?
Like I said, we do have a lot of the information tables that are going to be at the PX. I will actually be out there present, smiling and all, trying to bring that awareness. But we are doing that every Wednesday for the rest of this month. They also have the information tables at Hunter as well. So that's the same thing. I think their next one is going to be on the 18th, which is going to be Tuesday next week. We also have the SHARP self-defense course. I'm so excited about this one. I'm so happy. It's actually going to be for the 20th and 21st of April from 6:30 in the morning till 1500. I created this event so that people can just learn simple tactics, simple techniques to be able to try to get themselves out of a situation if they ever get into that situation by just simple self-defense techniques. And that will be actually instructed by Sergeant First Class Ben Jackson from Division. He is the person who runs the combative school here. And that's where the class will be at, is here at the combative school on Fort Stewart. Those both days are open. Please come through. It's going to be a great event. It's free. And most definitely, please wear teal. Anything to bring that awareness for SHARP. Of course, we have the Army has brought out the new colors, which is black and yellow for SHARP, but you can still wear teal as well, because I'll be wearing teal.
But then you mentioned too about Denim Day.
Yes.
And just to clarify, Denim Day, it's related to an Italian court decision that a woman had brought suit against her assailant. The judge ruled that because her jeans, the denim jeans that she was wearing were so tight that she would have had to have given consent to her attacker. And so with that ruling, it became it just became a worldwide phenomenon during the month of April on the specific day.
The 26th, so it's the last Wednesday of for April. So it's the very, very last Wednesday that they have created this day, which is amazing because regardless, it doesn't matter what you have on. It doesn't matter how tight your pants are. There is no way that person would have given consent, because the way that they ruled it out and threw it out is saying that person literally helped the assailant take the jeans off, and they threw it out. And so now it's a national holiday as in Denim Day, and this is a thing for division, is that they're heavily wanting people to wear jeans. Of course, tasteful. Don't come, up here with ripped jeans and whatever, But other than that, it's going to be a thing for Fort Stewart and half is to wear jeans on the 26th of April to bring awareness. And of course, rock teal, rock sharp colors, all that good stuff. But it will be an all-day thing. At the same time, we have guest speakers that are going to be telling their stories at the NCOIC here on Fort Stewart. I want to say the back gate.
That's the NCO Academy.
Yes.
Out sort of by Pembroke.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And like I said, I have two survivors that are actually from my footprint that will be speaking on their stories based on, one will have like a sexual harassment story and the other one will have a sexual assault. And
they're sharing their personal story.
Yes.
The audience.
Yes.
As
and
an
it's
attempt
to
educate.
To the future leaders that are eventually are going to, take roles and understand that, hey, if someone comes to them, that they have their roles and responsibilities, that they got to report that stuff up. Can't play.
And these are junior leaders targeted for this because of the Army philosophy that junior leaders really have the biggest impact, the biggest role in setting that culture and that climate within small units.
Yes, and they're pretty much kind of like what we call not the sharp ambassadors, but the Marne Guardians, right? They're like my gatekeepers. They're the people that are in the formations, and if they see something out of place, they're able to put it back in place, like do it the right way, The
Marne Guardian program is something that I don't know that we've ever gotten in the podcast before. So I know that we didn't talk too much about Marne Guardian as we were scheduling this, but can you talk a little bit about the Marne Guardian program and what that does for 3rd Infantry Division?
So Marne Guardian is a division program. Like I said, it's taught on SHARP, EO, I want to say suicide intervention, like techniques and things like that. And they're hitting the corporal and below population, the ones that are like high, like top rated is always like the E4 and below population.
More vulnerable population
right.
to some of these afflictions, these problems.
These things that are happening out here. So with them going through that 5-day course, not only do they learn like what does SHARP look like what is like the gist of it, what would be considered sexual harassment or sexual assault, what is EO when it comes to bullying, hazing, things like that, what does suicide look like, what are the warning signs, things like that. So not only are they helping the formation, because with me, I'm just one person. And there is more of them than there is of me. Of course, we got Sergeant Terragezo, we got Sergeant Booker, but if we can get people by just teaching them like to understand that, hey, terms of endearment is a no-go. It should be rank and last name. That's it. You cannot get a complaint against yourself if you use Staff Sergeant Brown, Staff Sergeant Ingrid Brown. It's so simple, but people get so comfortable in their workplaces that it's, oh, boo, honey, sweet pea, sugarfoot. No, that is literally justified as a complaint of sexual harassment. Same thing with sexual assault. People don't understand that when it comes to the 5 hot spots, if one of those 5 hot spots could be simply touched by a horse playing, that's sexual assault, Article 120. It's serious out here. And if we can get the junior enlisted soldiers to understand that that's not okay, then we're getting after it. We're getting past it, and we're trying to change the culture that's in front of us, basically.
And so these soldiers become a peer resource.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're pretty much Staff Sergeant Brown's like little is pretty much like my gatekeepers. I'm telling you, if a soldier is dealing with something and they understand what it like the certain like red flags and green flags, right? So if a soldier comes to them saying that, oh, something sharp happened to me this weekend. Ding, ding, ding. They'll be able to escort them to me so that I can support them.
Okay. While we have you here, do you mind just rehashing a little bit of the basic, for the SHARP program, the basic reporting procedures? And since we talked about a number of the resources, can we just go over those resources that are available to somebody that might have experienced sexual harassment or sexual assault?
Yeah, so when it comes to sexual harassment, anytime that there is like an event of like, what do you call it? Like the terms of endearment, it could be just sexual in nature, any type of jokes, anything like other in that sort. You literally have 60 calendar days in order to make that complaint, right? But when you do, you have your reporting options of anonymous. You don't want to be known. You have your informal, which is like an MFR, just stating, hey, he or she would like the chain of command to intervene, or someone else to talk to this person to let them know, hey, enough is enough. Or they can do formal, which is the full-blown investigation of 14 calendar days. Of course, anytime if they do the formal route, there is, of course, a reprisal plan that comes in place for both parties so that they understand why the investigation is going on. No one needs to talk to each other, nothing of anything. Okay. And if they do experience any type of retaliation, then they need to immediately report it to us, or they can go to IG, they can go to their commander and things like that. And then also when it comes to sexual assault, you got two reporting options. It's going to be unrestricted and restricted. The biggest difference between the two is that restricted, there's no real investigation, right? They're able to remain somewhat anonymous. When I say somewhat, meaning that it's like nobody's going to know about it. But of course, they'll get the paperwork of the 2910 documented saying that this happened. But the good thing about if you file a restricted report later down the road, a year or two later, you can always convert it to unrestricted. Unrestricted is the full-blown investigation, right? And those can last, I've seen some last for 90 days to 2 years. But that's just case by case. But with the unrestricted report, you can opt in for an expedited transfer. You can go be closer to family, however you see, wherever your support system's at. You can also opt in for an MPO, which is a military protection order. Of course, that protects you on base, but then you can get a CPO, which is a civilian protection order that will protect you off base as well.
Because that's a matter of jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay. But you can help facilitate.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And even when you come to military dependents, 18 and above, they can come and file an unrestricted sexual assault report with me. 17 and below, they will get with Family Advocacy Program, FAP.
Okay, well, it's interesting that you mentioned family members, because maybe we could take a second here to just dispel some of the myths and some of the false assumptions about sexual harassment, sexual assault. One of the biggest ones I think that I hear a lot is that it's always a male versus female sort of harassment or attack.
Mm-mm. I have actually had more males come forward, male on male.
Okay.
And then it's usually that's a myth saying that a male is there. There's no way it happened to a male. Mm-mm. It will happen to anybody, and that's why I'm happy about the SHARP self-defense course that we're able to kind of teach them. We're not going to be able to teach them everything, but just to be able to learn something new, something different to put into your toolkit to understand. Because nowadays it's hard to trust people. So when you're able to indicate those red flags, like this one thing it's new, but it's not new. Gaslighting. And that happens a lot to a lot of people in relationship, friendships, within the organization, at work, and people don't understand that is a negative flag, like it's a red flag. And that's something that you want to get away from.
Well, gaslighting.
Mm-hmm.
I think most people are probably familiar with the term, but I think the way I would sum it up, gaslighting is making somebody believe that their feelings or their understanding of the situation or somebody's comments is false or overblown. It's sort of like manipulating somebody into not trusting their feelings or their judgment.
Right. As in like their feelings just don't matter. They know that what they see is true, but the person on the other side is making it seem like it's non-existence, which is a very toxic trait.
Okay. And then going more into, because you mentioned some things happen or you can be protected from on post, and then other things you can be protected from off post. I think it would be a good point to make sure that everybody knows that sexual harassment assault can occur out of uniform, and it can occur off the installation and outside of the work environment.
Yeah, it can happen when you're TDY. It could happen when you're on leave. It could happen anywhere. And the good thing is like I said, regardless of the location that it happens at, you can still come and talk to me.
And if a soldier is attacked by someone that's not a uniformed service member, a civilian,
right?
Can they talk to you?
Yes, they can still. It doesn't, like I said, there's other ways that we have to still go about it. Like they can still come and talk to me, of course, and I'll educate them on the reporting options and the services and things, because then also if the person was a civilian off post, and of course will file a police report like through them, but they can still come in and get the services as in behavioral health, medical, get a safe kit if they need one. And usually when it comes to a safe, which is a sexual assault forensic exam, good rule of thumb is like 72 hours after the incident happened, so that they're able to collect any type of DNA or evidence or anything like that. And then it just goes from there. And
so you mentioned the resources, and if you are a soldier who's assaulted, the restricted and unrestricted, those services are available regardless of the type of report you file.
It doesn't matter. For sexual assault, when it comes to sexual assault, you have your unrestricted, restricted. You still receive medical, a safe, behavioral health, counseling, chaplain, me. Just the biggest difference between the two is that one's an investigation, one's not. And then the one that is under investigation is the unrestricted report. And this is where a lot of people understand that you do not have to stay here. Like you can request an expedite transfer, which is done on a 4187. We have the whole system together where we do a MFR, and the reasoning why that soldier chooses to go, let's say, to Fort Bragg. That's where the parents are at, and that's where their support system is. It's all about getting the soldier back to where they were before it happened.
So, unfortunately, this has been a great conversation. I guess if there is somebody listening to this podcast that has experienced harassment or assault, whether in the workplace or outside, in the Army or in the civilian world, but maybe they're afraid to come forward, maybe they're afraid to talk to somebody about it, what would be your message to somebody that doesn't know what to do right now?
So the good thing about me and my team is we have MRE 514, which is military rule of evidence, right? We're not a mandatory reporter. A lot of people think that we have to report it. No, you can literally come into my office and we could talk hours on hours on hours. And I'm not going to report anything to nobody until the soldier decides what they want to do, right? But of course, I'm there to listen to what happened. And then I'm like, okay, what you've explained to me sounds like sexual harassment, sexual assault. These are your reporting options. Okay, but I can always just kind of let them know, hey, I've been there. I know what it's like. I understand like what you're feeling, and I just want them to be able to trust me. And then, of course, I'll give them my information, and they can come back whenever they're ready.
All right. Well, once again, thanks for tuning in to the Marne Report as we talk about the Sexual Assault Awareness Prevention Month, the events that we've had going on, and just the general stuff that everybody needs to know about the SHARP program. Thank you, Sergeant Brown, for taking a few minutes very early this morning to share this information with us and for us to get to know you, and really appreciate you coming in.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. Hopefully we can do this more often.
All right. Thank you. You've been listening to the Marne Report. I'm Sergeant First Class Jason Hull, 3rd Division Sustainment Brigade Public Affairs, and we'll see you next time. Rock of the Marne.
The Army Maintenance app is a quick and easy way for soldiers, Army families, and DoD civilians to submit work orders in order to maintain their barracks, family housing areas, and workspaces. ARMA enhances the ability to securely submit and access up-to-date information about the status of work orders that have been submitted, as well as provide feedback once the work is accomplished. Users can access ARMA through the Digital Garrison app or by visiting armymaintenance.com. No issue is too large or too small for ARMA. Get connected directly to the service you need, no matter the time of day or night. Create your online profile today at armymaintenance.com.